3rd and 10, Cleveland. Mayfield's got it, wants to throw, does almost picked off, and it is. Off a deflection, it's intercepted by A.J. Parker at the 34-yard line.
Baker, what did you make of some of the booing there in the second half from the fans?
Those are probably the same fans that won't be quiet while we're on offense and trying to operate, so don't really care.
Great attitude, Baker. Well done. Look, he's got a feistiness that serves him well. There are certain occasions where that feistiness doesn't serve him well. They're entitled to boo if you're not playing well. And if you're going to act like it's your birthright to play, no matter how many injuries you have, you're expected to play at a sufficient level. And if you can't perform at that level because of your injuries, then let Case Keenum play. Don't be selfish and hog the ball when you're not able to perform with the ball the way that you need to. And if you get criticized for performing at a lower level because you're injured, you got to be an adult about it. You got to be mature about it. And, they had some other comments that were, a little pissy. Apologies to anyone who may be offended by the word pissy. Sorry, I just said pissy twice. Make it 3 times. But you just gotta. If you act like the problem is if you act like it bothers you, and if you say something like that, you know what you're gonna do. You're inviting more of it.
Yeah.
And there would be those fans who won't be quiet when we're trying to operate. Well, but what about this? I mean, if you're the leader, get him do that and get him to shut up. But he's not going to get anybody to go any easier on him the way he reacted to the situation, in my opinion, Chris.
I agreed. I agreed. In fact, yeah, I think it'll have the opposite effect. It does. I love his passion and his feistiness too. That is what I do love about Baker Mayfield. But when you say things like that, it's I don't know, for lack of a better way to say it, bratty to a degree. I don't know. I'm not trying to call him a brat, but that comment is no. They're not the same people that won't be quiet when you have the ball in the offensive. These are people that are booing you because you're playing like crap. That's the bottom line, and that's a quote from his own mouth. Yeah, he didn't play well. So just own it and go on. You got the win. We know you're beat up. And that's where, again, there's things or time where he's asked questions, and I love Baker Mayfield, and I respect the way he approaches it. But, yes, for not to go to the podium on Sunday after a bad game, I don't love that look. I don't. You don't have to go there and, be there for 10 minutes. We saw Tom Brady 2 weeks ago against Washington not have a good game. He made it a quick press conference. He was bothered. Boom. Bam, he's out. He answered a few questions. That was it.
Make it quick.
Yeah, make it quick. Right. That's what he did. But, then to be, pissy back to the fans because they booed you on a rainy, crappy day against the crappy Detroit Lions because you couldn't put the team away because of, wait for it, you, not only the 2 interceptions that were very bad, I mean, a handful of throws where guys were wide open, and he missed them too. It wasn't so, well, what do you want? Oh, wait, they're paying $100 to sit in the stands. It's 38 degrees, and it's pouring rain, and you're playing the Lions, and you're playing like crap. What did you want them to do? Come on. That's where I just want to be like, Baker, come on, you're better than that. And you got so many things to respect and like. I don't like that.
Before we hear a little more from him, I want to say one more thing, because I don't want to go Colin Coward here and make Baker Mayfield hate a cottage industry where I keep pressing that button because it works. Because, look, I just say what I believe. And you said the word bratty. I think the more appropriate word is punk. That's how he comes off sometimes.
Sure.
Not all the time.
That's a better
but
way.
Sometimes it comes off as a punk.
Better
and
way
the
to say
problem
it.
is when you come off as a punk to the paying customers, you jeopardize your ability to get the contract that you think you deserve from the team. Because if there's a gap between what Baker Mayfield thinks he's worth and what he's actually worth, if the fans love him, he's more likely to get what he thinks he's worth.
100%.
This is part of the psychology of the sport. It's not always about X's and O's.
Yeah.
It's about keeping the fans happy. And if the fans love Baker Mayfield, they are going to do what they have to do to keep Baker Mayfield, advantage Baker Mayfield. And so be careful who you're directing the punk attitude toward. Direct it to us, you're fine. Direct it to the fans, you got a problem. Now, speaking of punk attitudes, here's a little more from Baker Mayfield yesterday about why he didn't talk to the media on Sunday.
Yeah, I was frustrated, among other things. Yeah, I mean, I've never dodged any questions or hid away from that. So it's not about that. Just frustrated, removed emotions and all that from it. Just decided it was best to wait.
I think that's what surprised us all, Baker, is that you pride yourself on being that guy and being accountable and stepping forward. And
not one part of that's not being accountable. I'd be the first to tell you I played like so. It's not about accountable, and I don't owe you guys any of that. I owe that to my teammates, and I talk to them, so that's what matters.
You know, you talk so much about winning, and I know how important that is to you. Is it a mixed message at all that you walk straight off without celebrating on the field after the game?
I mean, to our guys, no. To you guys, maybe. It depends on how you want to take it. You're going to write your stories regardless. I mean, my guys know that all I care about is winning, but I'm going to be frustrated if I do stuff to make it harder on us. And I did yesterday, and that's just flat out where it was. But I'm never going to take winning for granted. That's something that's very hard to do in this league. And it's hadn't been a very common thing around here for a long time. So I'm just frustrated with how I played, and that's how I've always been.
Since I'm accustomed to apologizing for Chris, I'll apologize on behalf of Baker Mayfield for the S-bomb that slipped past the goalie there in that answer. But, you know, that's where the punk attitude comes in. His attitude toward the media is, I don't know you people a damn thing. I don't have to talk to you. I'm accountable. Well, but being accountable to you isn't the same. And he says, I've never dodged any questions. He dodged the whole press conference. He dodged all of the questions on Sunday by not showing up. And I think at some level, Chris, he kind of knew that, you know, when you balance it out, not showing up, probably a little bit better than what he would have said if he would have showed up. So maybe he's self-aware of his punk-ass nature at this point, that he would have come in there and said some stuff that would have gotten people even more upset with him, potentially. Maybe things about fans in the heat of the moment that would have gotten them more upset with him. Maybe that's what it was about. Because I really want to go off here on these people who were booing me, but I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to talk at all. I'm just going to serenity now and wait till tomorrow. But regardless, you can see it creep through. His attitude is he doesn't owe the media anything, and he doesn't realize the media is the liaison to the fans. This is all coming back to his fragile and tenuous relationship with fans, and that's what's going to get him run out of Cleveland.
Yeah, agreed. You know, yeah, I mean, I understand what he's trying to say. I'm only accountable to the guys on the team, but it's no, you're not. You're not. You're accountable to more than that. Sorry, you are. You know, as in you're the first pick of the draft, as in you're the face of the organization, which is Cleveland Browns are the #1 sports team in Cleveland. So you're kind of the face of, yes, the Cleveland sports. I mean, yes, you do have that. And when you do, 5 commercials a year from the Cleveland Browns stadium, then, yeah, that's the mantle you're taking to a degree. So, I mean, I know what he's trying to say. He wants to be accountable to the locker room, but no. Being accountable to the fans, controlling your emotions, that's part of being a franchise quarterback. I mean, it is. There's no other way to say that. That's what I think, like football people, when they talk about Baker a little bit, it's one of the things I would worry about a little bit is, the fact that he can't control his emotions there in a press conference, that would make me worry about maybe he can't control his emotions the right way on the football field either. And I think that's where it shouldn't filter over that way. Again, we saw Brady, who has also 97 million pelts on his horse to be able to go next question, okay? But for the most part of his career, been very open to the media, whether it's a big win or a tough loss, And then, hey, Aaron Rodgers, I mean, how many times has he had to step up to the press conference after everybody wants to blame him for a loss that's not his loss? It's part of the duty. That's part of what you do as the face of the franchise, and that's where, yes, it's Baker Mayfield. I'd like to see him change that aspect of him. It's tough, and I don't know what to say with Baker. I really thought early in the year we were on the way to, wow, Baker's turned a corner, and look at this, and he's going to be the face of the franchise, and they're going to pay him, franchise quarterback money, and he's going to be there for a long time. But the way the year's played out and the way he's played, I don't know how you could do that in Cleveland. How could you pay him right now long-term money and do that? I got to see more. I do. It's just too all over the place, and I know he's beat up, and I respect him, but I wouldn't be able to pay him, $35 million a year. That's for sure. There's no way that's happening right now.
Yeah, if he stays in Cleveland, I think it'll be on a second tier, and we're going to see that develop. Gone are the days of the next guy up who was on the pass side of pass-fail, where he becomes the highest-paid quarterback in NFL history, and it went from Andrew Luck to Derek Carr to Jimmy Garoppolo to Kirk Cousins to Matthew Stafford to Matt Ryan. It all happened in like a year.
Yeah, and out of all those names, only Andrew Luck deserved it, right? I mean, you talk about all those names. There's only one guy out of them. Yeah, so sorry, I didn't mean to butt in, but just so apparent.
You're fine.
Yeah, so apparent.
But that doesn't work anymore.
No.
Just because you're Baker Mayfield and you didn't bust, you don't get Josh Allen money. You don't get Lamar Jackson money whenever he gets his money. You don't get Dak Prescott money. You definitely don't get Patrick Mahomes money. You get 30 to 35 million. You get Jared Goff, Carson Wentz money, and those are the two names that keep coming back because they are the cautionary tale where you sign Baker Mayfield to a contract, and then a year or two later you say, what the hell did we do? Why did we do that?
Yeah.
Why? So,
I think that's even too expensive, Mike, when I look at like $30 million, like for some of these second-tier guys. Again, some of these teams got to start calling their bluffs and be like, well, who else is going to –
We can draft somebody.
Right.
We can draft somebody.
Right. There's a lot of good we see there's a lot of good quarterbacks to go around right now. What it's like – is somebody going to beat down Baker Mayfield's door if he became a free agent after the year to pay him $35 million a year? If they are, then I could tell you, I don't know. They're not that smart of a football team. They're taking a tremendous risk. I don't. And I do think, Mike, I think you said it right. I think there's teams that there is a line in the sand now officially with like the quarterback thing. I think the Wentz, you said it, golf, that has really opened people's eyes to realize, like, wait, why would we do that to our football team when we're basically bidding against ourselves? We're creating a market where we're like, you want 30? No, we'll give you 32. Wait, you want 33? No, we'll give you 34. Well, why? Who else was going to pay him that? What are you doing? And that's, to me, where I think, yes, there's a lot of front office people and head coaches who have realized that over the last year and a half.
For all the things that we could say in a negative fashion about the Washington football team and former team president Bruce Allen, and there aren't enough hours in the day to detail the various things we could say. The one thing they got right was not giving big money to Kirk Cousins. Frankly, I know there's currently the general media, they love him vibe with Kirk Cousins because as long as you give him 7 seconds to throw, he's going to find an open receiver. But once the walls cave in, he's done, and they're eventually going to come up against a team where the walls cave in and they're going to be done. But he got that it started as $28 million a year, and he leveraged it into a better deal in Minnesota after 1 or 2 seasons. But, he played the game in Washington, and they played the game right back. And maybe they shouldn't have franchise tagged him once or twice and just let him walk. At some point, you just got to say, go ahead, go. You don't like our offer? Go get something better elsewhere, because you're not going to. That's the thing. If Baker Mayfield's contract expires, who's going to pay him
exactly
$40 million a year?
Yeah.
Now the problem is all it takes is one stupid team, and I can see the Lions doing something like that because he's, we're looking for kneecap biters, and he'll bite your kneecap off. I'm telling you, you put me down right now, Baker Mayfield's going to be the quarterback of the Lions at some point because he fits the mentality. He fits the mentality of what the Lions are trying to do currently, but they're not going to pay him $45 million a year. They're not going to pay him $40 million a year.
No.
He better find a way to manage his nature and put his lips onto the collective butts of the Browns fans, because that's the only way he's going to secure his future in Cleveland. Because right now, I think that we're too close to it to really appreciate it. I think it's extremely tenuous right now. And I can't imagine, with all those strategic personnel they have, with John DePodesta and Andrew Berry, and it's all analytics, and it's all numbers, and it's all careful, and it's all mathematical. They got to be looking at their options, and they got to be asking themselves what else they should do. Now, the question is this, Chris. We see how banged up Baker Mayfield is, and we saw there was one game this year where they went with Case Keenum, and it worked. Should they say to Baker, we're sitting you down Sunday night. We're letting you heal. We got a bye coming up. We're giving you some extra time to heal. We got the Ravens sandwich coming up with the bye in between. We're giving you the next couple of weeks to rest up and recover. We're going to go with Case on Sunday night.
Yeah, they gotta. That's something you got to be able to figure out during the week of practice. Like that's to me where that question gets answered. And can he go out there and do everything that's needed to be done at the quarterback position throughout the week Okay, yes, he's doing it. Oh, wow, all the receivers that were open this week, he hit it. There was no pain, in a practice where you're not getting hit. There was no issues that way. Then fine, you can continue to play him. But if you're seeing a pattern a little bit like we've seen, in the games itself of a guy that is uncomfortable, a guy that's missing throws, a guy that's not reading the field exactly the way you want it to be done, then I would say sit him down. But that's got to be evaluated, and they got to know that and figure that out during the week and in a hurry. That to me is where that question gets answered, Mike. So I don't have one for you. It's certainly not good. I mean, it's really not good. But I think they got to see kind of what he's capable of doing and his comfort level. Because what we've talked about a lot too is, you're beat up, and I got a lot of respect for his toughness. So wait, it's going to affect some throws and some of your physical performance on the field. But what it does, and I know we've talked about this before, when you're beat up like that too, it starts to affect your decision making. Oh wait, if I stand here in the pocket and wait a half a second, the number 2 read's going to be open. Oh, but the hell with it. I'm just going to get it out of my hand to the number 3 read and get it out of my hand so I don't get hit. Well, okay, you got a completion to the number 3 read, but the number 2 read was open and you were going to get hit, but it was going to be a 25-yard gain. That's where they got to figure that out too. Is it affecting decision-making on the field? That to me is when you say, whoa, pump the brakes. Here comes Case Keenum. You get healthy. We'll see you in a few weeks.
Question.
Yeah.
Do we think that what played out yesterday and the day before, not attending the press conference, and then yesterday the things he said and the attitude that he projected, I know it's a road game on Sunday night, but is there a point where the Browns say, on top of the physical, maybe he needs a mental/emotional break? We hear it all the time now from the players, and we support it, and we should. I need a mental health break. I need some time to gather. Does he need to kind of involuntarily be told, you need a break? You need a break. You need to heal. You need to rest. You need to relax. Because maybe teammates and coaches are sensing a little bit of an attitude and an edge that's counterproductive as well. Maybe they need to get him out of the fray for a little bit so he can get that under control.
I don't disagree with you there. Again, I think that's something that you got to evaluate and have a feel for as if you're Kevin Stefanski or offensive coordinator or quarterback coach. Because, how could he not be a little mentally beat up? Yes, people are criticizing him. Physically, he's got to battle every day. He's probably got to get to the facility an hour earlier than normal because he's got to get rehab. He's probably there a little later because of rehab. He's probably not sleeping as well at night because his damn shoulder and knee hurt. So it has a ripple effect to everything you do. And that's where, hey, head coaches and other offensive coaches got to have a feel for the person, the player, and where he's at. And maybe that's, leads them to the point you're making.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.